will go ahead and take away the first pole position for the back end of the series, followed by Matty Cardelloni off his outside. Jordan Boys and Sean Merritt round out 3 and 4. Guy Leach, followed by Timothy Audie, Dale Breed, Jordan Mulach, Lachlan Capel, and Joshua Fitt are going to round out your 10.
Then it's on to Brady Buchanan and Paul Mansell in 11 and 12. And as we flip over the page, you've got Daniel Webster and Patrick Panton off row 7. You've got row 8, Richard Brookfield. Look out for him to make his way through with Sam Lehman. Next to him, we've got Derek Audie and Maverick Benson, followed by Jeffrey Wang and Ben Hall rounding out row 10. It's Tim Mitchell and Christopher Hen off 11, with Adam Funslow and Phil Audie off row 12. As we flip back through to the last page, Hayden Jackson, Luke Turner, got Jeff Connell all the way down there, not able to get a full lap in, so he's going to be battling through the pack from 27th with Matty Johnson alongside him. Liam Caplice, Terrence Nielsen, we've got Isaac Edwards, Dale Carpenter, and rounding out our grid tonight is Jason Bentz.
Yeah, just look how narrow that track looks with them side by side down there, just on the sort of final straight before Ascari. You got the bridge up there as well. So the funny thing is with the oval working, you're going to see cars going across that bridge in the race. So it's almost a bit like Suzuka with a figure of 8 track. You've actually got the bridge over the circuit. Not many tracks get to have that aspect to them. There's only a handful in the world where you actually race and get to drive over the top of your competitors, which is a very strange feeling indeed. But you can see just how narrow it looks with those Indy cars. They are wide creatures indeed.
And in fact, we're just actually looking. I was just going to say, we're actually just looking at exactly what you're talking about there, Carl. This is the bridge over the top, the banking over the top, and we were talking about it before the race started. Before the broadcast started, about Grand Prix, a movie from the mid '60s where the cars actually shot off. We were talking about, maybe it was the Honda, I think it was, that ended up running off the banking and landing on the track in front of the cars below. A very realistic possibility back when this track was used in its heyday. So. Certainly unique, and we're looking forward to the race getting started.
Yeah, drivers going over the top of the banking was not an uncommon feature back in the day with the big cambered tracks, of course. Unfortunately, we lost many drivers back in the day from that because safety wasn't really a thing, but you didn't run the high line. That's one of the things that these guys have to be careful of on this actual track, is you don't tend to run the high line on these style of ovals. You run a little bit lower because that high line is very slippery and very bumpy indeed.
Do we know if that's turned on? If they go flying off the bank there, are they going to end up down on the track below, or have iRacing put an artificial wall in the way?
A combination of both, guardrail and artificial wall.
Oh, damn, they should have left it the way that it was, just for the fun of it. But we'll leave that be. Matty Cardelloni, they're running the KFC livery. That's interesting. Maybe some premonition for what he's going to have afterwards. Yeah. Wicked wings.
Isn't it? You get a wicket, you slap everyone on the back. Popcorn, you just shout KFC meals. Can we approach KFC for a sponsorship?
We're about to get underway here. Who's going to take us away for the first race tonight, gents?
I've got to say, Ross Rizzo's looking good.
Ross Rizzo's. There's a bank up. There's already cars just punching one another in the background there. That doesn't look good. As we get underway here, Matty Cardelloni, Ross Rizzo taking us away at the front. Cardelloni's got a little bit of a jump on him here. Jordan Boys right behind them as they look to try and break away from this pack. We just want everyone to get through here the first time around. A great vision of the track there as we get underway, and there are a couple of cars dropping in and out, which is making it a little bit fun to keep up with who's in what position. Matty Cardelloni still leading. Ross Rizzo just dropping that through the pack a little bit there. Hayden Jackson has gone off track. He has just dropped down the rear of the field as we get underway.
Look at Timothy Audie going down the high side there in that Golf liveried car, just getting a great run through those corners there, just catching it up to the front, getting a really good run off the corner. You can see him just flying past. You can see Cardelloni just a little bit low and just got caught out with the banking there. That bump just slowed him right down, and that's going to give Audie the chance to get up in front.
Isn't it awesome just to see this many cars this close together heading down into Curva Grande for the first time? Look at them all. It's nearly 3 wide and there's only a couple of meters in between them. One car up and into the sand. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Who is going to pull off the best Daniel Ricciardo impression? Well, it's not Matty Cardelloni that leads us through the first time. It's Timothy Audie on the outside. They go side by side through the Della Rosia chicane for the first time. And for the first lap into the Lesmos, Audie will have to concede. He gives it up. And all of a sudden, the green machine, it assumes priority.
Huge crash behind them. Jordan Mulch caught up in that. There's a huge smash behind him. Absolutely. Half the field, I think, almost caught up in that one. Lots of cars taken out in that one. There is a car upside down at the moment as well, so a lot of vehicles caught up in this accident. We've got many vehicles caught up in this accident, unfortunately.
Jeff Connell's in the background there. He's just destroyed. So we'll try and jump back to this. It looks like I'm going to try and hope this is the replay section here. We'll have a quick look.
Ross Rizzo,
wow, there's more.
Jump on board Ross Rizzo. That was a huge stack for him, and he's ended up on his skid lid upside down in the accident. You can see just here he's gone over, and then he gets collected by somebody else as he comes back onto track and ropples him right over there. Absolutely devastating for him. John Marriott at the front, though, he's actually leading at the moment with Jordan Boys taking over P1, I think. So absolute chaos there. Cold tyres really catching out a lot of those drivers.
What, later on tonight, I'm going to go back and watch the first lap from Jeff Connell's perspective, because when we talked about it, you don't want to be caught down the back. You want to get that banker lap in just so that you are somewhere towards the front. The issue for Jeff Connell is he's got to make his way through the field out on the bank section before he gets to the sections where he's definitely going to be able to show his class as a driver. Well, he wasn't able to make enough moves, and he found himself mid-pack and right in the thick of it. And unfortunately, Jeff, that is your best barrel roll impersonation and impression, but unfortunately that doesn't do a hell of a lot for the car's, would you say, longevity? Oh, yeah, let's go with longevity.
Unfortunately, not for the first time seeing a car hit the bridge at Monza. I was trying to think back to who that was. I think it was a Formula 3 car a while back, but there is racing all through the field at the moment. As Lachlan Capelli gets caught up, big incident into Variante della Roggia as well, so a lot of cars getting caught up in that. It is a hot spot for accidents, unfortunately.
Josh just getting caught there.
And Fitt's going to loop it off the fence, and unfortunately impales another car running in the background. That is just poor luck for whoever his victim was. A car upside down at the other end of it. More cars rolling.
Wow, this is just this is out of control.
Well, I can't call it a wildcard round for no reason.
I don't even know. You can't even know where to watch, to be really honest, because we're on board with someone, and then there's more accidents happening.
What I would say is, looking at the front right now, John Marriott has lost the car, and this is giving Cardleone back to the lead, losing the back end. But Cardleone has got some serious damage on that front of the car. The wing is absolutely wrecked for him. This is not going to help him out. This is going to help out the Golf liveried Timothy Orty just behind him. Jordan Boys as well getting through relatively unscathed in the 49, so working out well for them at the moment. But Cardleone is going to be struggling now with that front wing. It is absolutely ruined.
One of the best things that can possibly happen to you when you've got a ruined front wing like that is a lap car in front of you just to assist with the towing. He's going to need absolutely every moment of that, and I'm pretty sure if he wants to hang on to this lead, you're going to see a bunch of the push-to-pass feature just slam this lap. Look, to be perfectly honest, he will probably be in the pits next time by to grab that fast repair before he loses anything else, but in the meantime, round the outside, doesn't have the aero penalty and assumes the lead of the motor race. What an overtake for Timothy Orty.
Great job there, and yeah, a bit of a crippled car, but that front end, it's not going to help you down the straight. You might lose a little bit of downforce here and there, but what it's going to do is make it much harder through the corners. Cardleone's really going to struggle getting into the corners now, I'd say, with that loss of downforce, and as you say, he's going to need to take that quick repair relatively quickly. It's going to be interesting to see how he does coming down to Della Roggia, and he manages to turn it in quite well, doing a great job of keeping that car it's sort of on track considering the amount of damage on there, but yeah, it's not gonna be feeling good out there tonight.
Boy's done a great job just to hold on to his place given all the chaos that was unfolding around him. Still running there in the P3, and whoever that lap car is just in behind him in the pink livery, they've done a phenomenal job not only to keep the car on track, to recognise the situation that they're in and just let the leaders on by as need be. That's race preservation of the utmost. Mr. Connell.
Hayden Jackson, that was, and he's actually just lost it as you're speaking about him. Curse of the commentator there through the Ascari chicane. Curse of the commentator strikes once more.
I was just wondering as well, while I was looking at this, whether or not now they're going to have enough fuel to run to the end, those that had to pit, because there's a huge swathe of the field that has pit on lap 2. So, albeit that they're a long way behind,
we actually
have all bar 2 cars on the lead lap, despite all of that carnage. So, if they're pitted to the end, you never know what might happen.
It's not over by a long shot.
That first lap would have been, what, 3.5 minutes? Given how long they took to wind up and go through the oval section right at the start of the lap. If the oval section was the back end of the lap, they wouldn't have lost as much time. But because the oval section is right where your start-finish line is, then winding the cars up to racing speed immediately after the green flag is a lot harder. You'll lose a fair bit more time on that opening lap. So may assist them. 50, 53, 54-ish litres was the call from Sam Lehman. In terms of car setup and fuel limits this evening, so definitely stops required. And I tell you what, a fuel burn rate of 7.5 litres a lap. Well, I would be hoping to burn that per 100 kilometres in my everyday car, not per lap.
Yeah, just a wide open throttle there, just chewing the juice, so to speak. So, so from that, then make it home from lap 2. Is it going to be tight?
It's going to be tight all night. I had such a long lap back to the pit lane. You don't want to get that math wrong. I think tonight, any night, you need to overfuel.
Yeah, you definitely want to take more than you're expecting, because, of course, if you're using anything like push to pass as well, that's going to chew up the fuel quite quickly. If you're just out on your own as well, you're going to be chewing up a little bit more fuel because you're punching that hole in the air, and you can get caught out quite quickly. If you've been running behind somebody for a while, it can really catch you out and really throw you off. A little bit of maths I was doing before, I think I said about 6.5 laps on fuel for a full tank, so I think that's roughly what I worked out for these guys. So it'll be interesting to see how well that worked out. But of course, it is a very long lap. It's about 2 minutes. Well, 2 minutes, about 2 minutes 14 for a lap around here, 2 minutes 13 for a very fast lap. So it's going to depend a little bit, and all see how it sort of pans out for time as well.
I mean, you add a stop in there, you can pretty much average it out at basically 2 minutes and 15 seconds per lap, six and a half laps. If you can fuel save and push it out to 7, you need to save, what's that going to be? That's going to be somewhere in the realm of 3.5 litres to make it to 7 laps. And if you can make it to 7 laps, you're going to be at 15, 16 minute mark. You're only going to need to fill up for 2 laps. So feasibly, you can make it home. Feasibly, in actual reality, that is a big ask. That is, because you got to remember, of a 2 minute and 14 lap, how long are we spending on the oval section with the foot pressed firmly to the floor?
1 minute 18 seconds.
Yeah, there ain't no fuel saving across that 1 minute 18 seconds.
Jason Bent's having a big moment, losing the whole front end of his car, and that car is, I think that's it over for him tonight. That's for this race, at least for race 1. A few people really getting caught out there tonight, and these cars are very different to drive. The DW12, very different car to drive, of course. It's slightly different to the former generations of the Indy cars of the day, running a 2.2 litre V6 engine with some turbos on board rather than the big beefy old V8 is what we used to run. But very fast cars, very quick, and a little bit chunky on the old aero, but they do fly, these things. They are very fast.
Just having a look there through the pit stops as well. Sorry, Scotty, just at time you pit in, we actually had AM Series leader Dale Breed. He was running in 3rd position, so a good start for him tonight. Jordan Boyce currently in 2nd. Luke Turner up into 3rd, 23 places. Matty Johnson up 24 places into 4th position. So 2 massive gains for them out of it. They haven't pit yet, but that is our top 4 at the moment.
Yeah, they're losing about 27 seconds, 28 seconds in pit lane. So it's a relatively short stop, but that is, it's still a bit of time. At the moment, Carvione is only about 31 seconds off the leader, off Tim Fiordi, I think, on my screen. So he's got a little bit of time to gain, but he's not that far off the lead.
Oh, Carpenter on screen now, just doing his best drift impression. He's trying to get that triple one car turned around, but it is stuffed.
Finally, yes.
Yeah, the beautiful
Oh no, that's not...
Texaco car just getting caught up there and catching somebody else. And
Yeah,
of course,
unfortunately, Ben Hoare was an innocent bystander in that. He's still driving that thing. He needs to get out of it and get off it. So before he wrecks someone else's night, that's it. Just jump to pit lane.
You have to know when to give up when the car starts crabbing like that. You just have to say, no more, guys. I think I'm done with that one. When it starts going sideways on its own accord when you're going in a straight line, you just have to give up, I think.
To quote the iRacing spotter, too much damage. We're done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he would have certainly received that call. With the pit lane transition time you're talking about there as well, Carl, the guys have almost got a leader far enough out the front here that they'll be able to continue on with this one. So Timothy Audi just looking there, he is 31 seconds in front of Matty Carlione, so almost has that margin set aside where he's going to pop out.
Timothy Audi loses it. He loops it around going through Dallara, and that's the thing that's easy to do when you put the foot back on the accelerator there. It's so easy to do, and that's going to give Jordan Boyes the chance to get out in front. Luke Turner's just coming up right behind him as well, so it's going to lose him a lot of time there, but this could be what Jordan Boyes needs to get his first victory in the AUSPASS Series.
I'm just not going to mention anybody anymore because it's just easier to safer for the drivers if we don't mention any names at the moment. That's a little disappointing for Tim Audi. He's been driving really well.
It's not over yet, though. He lost a bit of time, but he didn't. You know, it's not completely lost yet. That's the thing, is he has got a lot of time in hand to get back there, and we've seen people making mistakes tonight. It's so easy to loop these cars because they have got an awful lot of power. I think it's about 700 horsepower as Jordan Boyes does come into pit lane. Got to make sure you slow that car down because you're coming in at some speed. He's got somebody right in front of him as well, so that could have cost him a little bit of time coming into pit lane. Somebody with some damage as well, missing the whole front end of the car. So Jordan Boyes coming in for his pit stop right now. So hopefully he'll get away with that one quite quickly. Timothy Audi coming in as well as Luke Turner. So all of those guys up the front coming in for their pit stop. So where will Carlione come out? Carlione's crashed. Matthew Johnson's crashed. Matthew Johnson, I was just looking at there. He was up there running well in fourth place. He's had a big accident coming through the Parabolica. And Carlione's going to jump up into first place. Is he? No, he's just behind Jordan Boyes.
Just 3 seconds behind Jordan Boyce there, so he's jumped up into second place. John Merritt pops out in third, Timothy Audi in fourth. So the whole field has been through their pit stops now, and this is it for the remaining 5.5 minutes. Yeah,
that's it. It's the rest of the race to go now, effectively. I was just looking as well because, of course, Carlione came in quite early, so he's already done 3 laps so far. We've got Derek Orty out there on a 5-lap stint, so it's just how long he can go. I mean, we've got 5 minutes remaining, so there's still about 3 laps remaining, so it could be close for Carlione. He could be in with a little bit of trouble, so those guys behind him have still got a chance to catch up to him, and it's whether he can make it on fuel. John Merritt as well, he's on the same strategy as Carlione, so those two have got to be a little bit careful.
Well, as there's a spin in the background there as well, John Merritt has gone off track, so he's going to lose a couple of positions. It's exactly the sort of thing you were talking about. So Luke Turner now moves up into fourth with Lockley Capel and Dale Breed, and John Merritt resumes in. He's just run wide again, so would have probably overheated those tyres a little bit just in that spin. Not able to get it turned, and he's just very loose there. I'm going to try and get that one back on, as I think Richard Brookfield may have had an issue as well. He's jumped to the pit lane, so everyone's still making mistakes as Ross Rizzo just drops in a 2:12.72 to go fastest in this race by nearly 2 seconds. So a cracking lap for him, trying to make his way back up through the field. He will not want to be starting in 16th position for race 2.
No, but can Ross Rizzo make it on fuel? He's been out there for 5.5 laps now, so he has got a long way to go with this tank. You don't think he's going to make it. So he's probably going to have to come into the pit lane for one last little splash and dash, I'd say. A little bit of F&O into the car and a squirt of water on the side, of course, just to stop it from catching fire and get back out onto the track.
And Jeff Connell's had a spin as well, so he's struggling a little bit tonight. Unusual to see Jeff this far down, and Matty Caglione has jumped to pit lane. So he has had a spin there and jumped out of the car.
Oh, he got caught right up in the barrier, Stuart. He lost it going through the oval section and went right through the barrier. Didn't go over it, but he went into it. So he was completely stuck in there. So I think we're going to the replay now. So you see him just going a bit too low.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Went up the banking and went straight into the barrier.
And disappeared.
The car was basically doing a Grosjean sort of move there, just between the Armco barriers.
See, they needed to leave it in there so it was active. Anyway, this opens it up at the front here. Jordan Boys has a good
Ross
lead.
Rizzo is in the pit lane as well, just to mention that he couldn't make it on fuel. So obviously 6 laps is the most you're going to get out of the fuel. So that is good information for us. Derek Orty is probably going to be running quite low on fuel down in 9th at the moment, so he could be in a little bit of trouble. He's still yet to go. He's just going through Curva Grande right now, actually, Derek Ortiz. So he's got to make it another sort of 2 laps almost on that fuel tank. Will he have enough fuel to make it through and get at P10 finish at the moment? It might be a bit tight for him, but at the moment, Jordan Boys is looking good out in front.
It's unbelievable how a race that's a wildcard race like this has been put together, and there's just so much action. I'm just not sure where to look. It's unbelievable. They've done a great job. I was just having a look. Derek Audie, I reckon you're right. He's not going to make it home. Josh Fitt probably won't make it home. Paul Mansell probably won't make it home either. Sam Lehman might be struggling for juice. All these guys pitted on lap 2. There's just no way they're going to get home, I don't think. So this hasn't played out. There's only a minute 22 to go, and we're still talking about the fact that things are going to change dramatically at the end of the race. It's unbelievable. But what hasn't changed, Jordan Boys, plenty of fuel. He'll get home, and currently in the lead of this race, about 6 seconds up the street from Timothy Audie. We've got Luke Turner in 3rd, with Dale Breed in 4th, and John Merritt in 5th.
Yeah, it's been a tough one for these guys, as Derek Orty is making a pit stop right now, so yeah, definitely could not make it home on fuel. It's been a really tough one out there for a lot of these guys, and it's a very different car to drive as well, and that's the problem. Not everybody has a huge amount of experience driving these cars. They're very different cars to a GT car. They're very, obviously, a lot lighter, a lot faster, as who was that going into the number 5 there?
Sam Lehman and the 784, no, the 7... Who was that? 704? 784. Yeah, it was Ross Rizzo. So he's had a spin as well. But you can see there the left-hand rear quarter of Sam's car, right-hand rear corner, my apologies, of Sam's car, looking very, very pedestrian indeed. And I was going to say, some of these guys are going to be saved because our race leader, Jordan Boys, this will be it. He will not get around. He's only sort of 2/3 the way around the track at the moment, so he'll get the checkered flag. So some of these guys who stopped early on lap 2 are probably going to be saved by the fact that he's just not going to get across the line in time and get that extra lap in.
Yeah, that's going to save them on the strategy right now. Tim Audie's doing a good job of catching Jordan Boys at the moment. He's only about 2 and a bit seconds behind him, and he is really chasing him down at the moment. You can see visually there, they are like neck and neck. So so close, Tim Audie, to making that position back. Good recovery from that spin. He would have been hoping for an extra lap here to possibly get that little bit closer. But John Boy's just cruising around now, doesn't have to push too hard. You don't want to let it off too much, of course, because it's very easy to make a mistake when you just relax a little bit and get a little bit too easy going. As one of the cars is, Tim Audie. He's out of fuel. It's going to get Tim Audie. Tim Audie's going to take that position.
Oh, that's tragic. So Tim Audie takes the win, gets through. He stopped 1 lap later than Jordan Boys, and he has made it through. That is amazing. What did Scott
say about underfueling the car?
Absolutely. So obviously, just in the stop there, Jordan's taken a little less fuel on board than Timothy Audie, and that's cost him. It looks like Dale Breed's out of fuel as well. He stopped on lap 4. So has John Merritt actually made it across the line? So Brady Buchanan has, Lockie Capel has. So there's a few people here who may not have finished because of fuel. So
Paul Mansell got very lucky there for fuel. He just made it across the line. I think that car's going to be spluttering to a halt very soon. I was just looking at the stop times actually, and Jordan Boys was a 5.7 on his stop. So he just took that couple of, maybe about a litre less of that ethanol into the Indy car there, and that cost him the race win.
I think if there's anyone else down in the field here who's going to struggle to get home. So looks like Daniel Webster will make it. Tim Mitchell's going to be really thin on fuel. He pitted on lap 2.
Tim Mitchell and Sam Lehman, those two might be struggling a bit. Sam Lehman, mainly because his car looks like a Salvador Dali painting at the moment. But Tim Mitchell as well, he might just be very, very tight on running on vapours at the moment. So if he can make it across the line, he'll be very happy. Looks like he's got power, and he should be able to make it just by rolling across there. So he's going to make it.
Oh my goodness.
Sam Lehman, his car is spluttering to a halt. So the bit of interpretive artwork there is not going to make it to the line.
Yeah, he is in neutral. He might just coast across.
There's a car behind him that might be able to give him a push. He's going to be praying for that at the moment, I think.
Goes blasting by, just not interested.
He's going to be rocking back and forth in that seat at the moment, just trying to get it going a little bit further. Of course, the actual finish line is quite far down here.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of a hill, so he should be able to just roll there. So he's starting just that little bit of a roll. So we'll take a bit of time for the final finisher to make it across the line.
He didn't get there. Ran out of time.
Did not make it.
My goodness me, what a finish. So at the end of all of that, we ended up with the race leader, Jordan Boyce, running out of fuel on the last lap. Let's see if we can bring the results up here and try and unravel whatever it is that we just saw. My goodness me, there was plenty of action. So let's have a quick look here. So it was Timothy Audie who took the win in the end by about just only under half a second there from Jordan Boyce. Ran out of fuel. Dale Breed, great result for him, up into third. He kept his nose clean the entire race. So he's had a great result there to get onto the podium. John Merritt with a little bit of action at the start, recovering to fourth. We've got Luke Turner in fifth. Christopher Henn in sixth. Lachlan Capel, he had his some issues as well. He finished in seventh. Brady Buchanan in eighth, with Paul Mansell ninth, and Isaac Edwards rounding out the top 10. And you might well be asking where the usual front runners are. Well, they either had a combination of spinning, running out of fuel, flipping, or launching themselves off the banking. So, unfortunately for them, they're going to be battling from the back of the field. Sam Lehman were on board with then. Just needed a stiff breeze to help get him across the line. He ran out of fuel with about probably not three, maybe 400 or 500 meters to go in the lap. So it's going to be interesting for race 2.
I wouldn't say necessarily that they had incidents happen. Look, it's just a lack of talent, straight and simply. They ran out of talent. Obviously, they all put themselves in the fenced up. Nothing to do with the racing conditions. None of that. All out of talent.
The thing, Scotty, you always come back onto the broadcast and just start throwing a few of those things out there, and I've said, better you than me, mate. Better you than me.
Oh, look. And to be perfectly honest, in the entire time I've been here, you've always said, Scotty, I think you've crossed a line here, mate. But I know for a fact that Cartaleone would love it every single time I said ran out of talent to him. Ran out of talent on his fuel stop? Yep, he forgot to put enough fuel in. Ran out of talent.
Well, he's actually the one while you were away that launched his car off the embankment.
Through the embankment, I would go with, rather than off.
Transition the embankment into the ramp it was always meant to be.
Yeah, he almost managed to get that car back on the circuit and make up a lot of time. He was trying for a time-saving measure of going off of technically the sort of turn number 2-ish onto turn number 10 there via the leapfrog over the banking.
He was trying to do a Mario Kart, on the Rainbow World where you'd skip half the track by just doing a jump. That's what he was trying to do. Almost successful for him. But while we've got the in-between break here, with the warm-up session. I'm surprised the whole field aren't out on track actually, but only a few of them. We've got Matty Catalleone following on Timmy Audi here, just you can see him there literally under his back wing. But while we've got them there, big shout out to all of the sponsors for this great racing series that we have the privilege of broadcasting here on FGM Ecast. Of course, I'm talking about simrigs.com, who are a partner that have jumped on board this season and brought along with it a number of the drivers as well. So thank you for their ongoing support. HJ Plant Repairs, of course, the partner who joined this series when it was launched. We've got Bridgestone Select, Cranbourne, Fountain Gate and Rowville, as well as Sam Lehman's business 93PC for all of your sim racing PC needs. Of course, our partner AJ Insurance Services for joining us on stream. And as usual this week, what am I trying to say? This week, like every week on FGM Ecast, we do want to give a shout out to Men's Health, and specifically talking about prostate cancer. A very, very timely reminder with Neil Crompton unfortunately coming out today. I saw in the news, and he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer. So we send our support out to him, but they reckon he's going to be okay and make a recovery. But only possible, no doubt, because he probably went and got himself checked, and that is one thing we blokes are terribly bad at. It's the she'll be right mate mentality, and it's not always the case. So if you've got any concerns, you've got any health worries, go and get it checked. It takes 10 minutes out of your life, and it just might add an extra 20, 30, 40 or 50 years to your life. So a very important message that we continue to support here on FGM Ecast about men's health and awareness. So go and get yourself checked. It's never too early to go and get yourself looked at, and just make sure that you catch whatever it is that you've got and nip it in the bud before it becomes a big problem.
You wouldn't miss a fuel change. You wouldn't miss an oil change in your car. You wouldn't miss an oil change in your race car. Don't miss checking the important parts of the U car.
Yeah, just a moment of the dipstick and you'll be fine. It doesn't take long.
So it looks like we're running reverse top 10 here tonight. I didn't see that in the reg. So we've got, unless my feed is doing the bad thing. No, it's not. In fact, it is. So we're running reverse top 15 here as usual for our sprint series. So that is going to add a further level of complexity to what we had to untangle in the first race, with Timothy Audi, Jordan Boys dropping down to 14th and 15th. So I'll bring the grid up on screen now, and we'll take you all through.
Ladies and gentlemen, starting from pole this time around, it's going to be Matty Johnson. Daniel Webster's going to lead us away from P2 on the grid. Derek Audi, not the cleanest race number 1, but it could be said for everyone around him, off of row number 2 alongside Patrick Penton, Josh Fitt and Isaac Edwards. Well, they started a long way forward, but they finished a long way back in the last race. Paul Mansell, Brady Buchanan, Lachlan Capel, we saw a big incident for him, and Christopher Hen round out your 10.
Then from 11th, we've got Luke Turner and John Merritt in 12th, Dale Breed and Jordan Boys 14th, 13th from 14th. 15th, 16th, we have Tim Orty and Jordan Mulch. 17th and 18th, we have Jeff Connell and Maverick Benson. 19th and 20th, we have Tim Mitchell and Ben Hura. Ross Rizzo in 21st with Sam Lehman in 22nd. 23rd is Matty Cardioni with Adam Funslow. 24th, 25th, we have Jeffrey Wang with Terence Nielsen in 25th. 27th, we have Leighton Caplici with Phil Orty. 28th, 29th, we have Guy Leach with Dale Carpenter in 30th. 31st, we have Richard Brookfield with Hayden Jackson 32nd, and down at the back we have Jason Vance in 33rd.
Jeebus, I don't know what to expect out of this one. So it's probably best to err on the side of caution and say I've got absolutely no idea where we're going to be in 20 minutes time.
Very honest of you, Stu. Very honest. I know exactly where we're going to be in about 30 seconds time. It'll be chaos on the oval, leading to chaos out on the regular circuit. Look, to put it plainly, I love the idea of coming to the Monza combined circuit, but I have never once seen it go well for anyone involved. So that hoodoo, shall we say, continues on this evening. Lights out, safety car has pulled off. getting set to get underway. There we go. Matty Johnson's going to fire us off down to the oval section for the first time. But I tell you what, the start from the outside, Webster will assume the lead, heading around the oval for the first time.
Yeah, relatively clean down the back end this time, so not too many incidents at the moment, but there is still a long way to go on the throttle, and it is very tricky around these oval sections. As I said, the oval here is not like your regular ovals. You sort of want to run the slightly lower to midline. When you get up on that high line here, it is very tricky. If you run too low as well, it is very bumpy as well, so a very tricky oval to run. It's not sort of like the American ovals. We see a few cars getting loose as they come into the second stage of the oval, the Sally Arto Velocito. So we'll see how they go.
A few cars starting to get that little bit out as they come across the rise and fall, exiting off the oval for the first time. It's 3 wide, 3 guys going side by side down into Curva Grande. This is going to be epic. Who's going to hold it? The blue car. Is that Webster that leads us through? It is. It's Webster. The 115. A pit car fires off into the dirt once more. Webster going to have to cover off the inside. Will he be able to hang on to it? Here's the question mark, and it's been answered. The 115 machine. That is going to be Isaac Edwards from row 3 on the grid, has found his way into the lead, and Webster says no, not quite yet. I want to scrap here for this one. I've been on the front row and I've got my moment to shine, and shine he does.
An absolute chaos a little bit further down the field as Patrick Panton gets caught up. He gets spun around, and we saw a car on its side as well. So somebody waking on their side in the 51, that would have been Maverick Benson on his very side there. So yeah, chaos down in that first corner as we expected.
Look, know that it's a rough race when Maverick Benson's having an awful one, because that guy can power just about anything smoothly around. Car off in the background. Unfortunately, with a wildcard round, the liveries change, and that sometimes means you can't pick up which car it was. But I tell you what, Webster has said, no thank you guys, I will take control of this motor race. I'm going to punch that push to pass button, probably I would say anywhere up to 3 or 4 times on that lap, just so that he's clear. And to be perfectly honest, I actually think that's the right move.
Phil Orty off in the background there, and he actually got collected by Dale Carpenter. Dale Carpenter running wide, and a huge smash ended Phil Orty up and through the catch fencing in the Ascari chicane. So that might be his night over and done with now. But Daniel Webster doing a great job out in front at the moment.
Just go back and have a look at that Phil Orty incident that you mentioned.
So yeah, going through Ascari, he's just lost the back end, and big off there, and then he'll sort of manage to get it back onto the part there, and then he gets collected, and that is that T-boned and a big crash there.
That 111 of Dale Carpenter there just ending up in embedded in the wall. So not going anywhere further for him tonight. I would have had to jump to the pits after that one.
Look, I think it's damned if you do, damned if you don't from the 111 machines, because he's got a jink. He's got a jink in one direction. He opts to go to the right because he thinks he's going to rejoin out into the racetrack, and he opts to take the safer line, and it doesn't pay off for him.
No, I think he ended up nearer Rome than Monza with that one. So yeah, a long way off the track there.
John Merritt took advantage out of all of that early part on, has now moved up 10 spots into second, so he's managed to keep clear of the carnage, and it's paid to his advantage.
Yeah, great start.
Yeah, obviously, you know, you've got to consider whenever you're diving through the pack and when you're weaving around looking for those openings, you're going to put a lot of heat, a lot of load through those tyres. Merritt was around multiple times in the dying stages of the first race. Is he going to be able to defend it this time by?
And race 1 winner Timothy Orley has got some trouble a little bit further back. He has got quite a lot of damage to his front wing, so he's going to be struggling down towards the back. Oh, they get caught up at the front.
Oh. And Paul Mansell was it, I think, he got caught up, or Matty Johnson got caught up in the background there as well. So that car's got a huge amount of damage on it. He's going to have to jump into the pit lane. And as we saw in the first race, he's not going to be able to make it to the end on fuel. So that's not going to work out for him. Oh, he opts to stay out. So that's interesting. He's got an absolutely smashed rear wing on it. And the cowl near the right-hand rear tyre as well is heavily damaged.
Joshua Fitt caught up in that one as well. I saw him flying over in the Red Bull liveried car, so quite a few cars getting caught up in these little accidents. It's so tricky out there, and it just shows, you know, these drivers just not quite used to these cars and just getting caught out by it quite quickly.
We've got 3 wide down the back straight, and it's the Batmobile on its way through. Jeff Connell, 12 spots up into 5th at the moment, so he's enjoying the benefit of a little bit of clean running as opposed to race 1 where he got taken out very early on due to some less than normal qualifying outcomes for Connell. So he'll be enjoying this one now, able to actually get a good run on it, and he's in 5th, just putting the attack on Paul Mansell as well, looking to try and get that pass done.
He might struggle though. He has got some damage to his front wing. The left side of that front wing is crumpled in, so he's going to have some trouble just with the ultimate speed of that car, just losing a little bit of that aero balance as well. So that could be the chance for Paul Mansell just to keep ahead of him as long as he keeps it on the road. So that's not going to do Jeff Connell any favours, but we have seen a few drivers making around with a bit of damage. So it's not the end of your night when you have got a little bit of a crumpled wing at the moment. As Richard Brookfield's taken a nasty spin a little bit further back, just going through Dallara chicane. He's just gone in and just put his foot down a little bit too early. Back end has just stepped out on him and he's gone into the barrier. So easy mistake to make, unfortunately. These cars do like to light up those rears very quickly.
Interesting, because Richard Brookfield is actually fastest man on track last time around, 2:14.79, so fastest lap of the race thus far, so just not quite able to keep that one together there.
Yeah, real shame, because he was running up quite well and doing a good job of it up there in those positions. But just getting caught out, and as I said, as soon as that turbo spools up in this car, it can easily catch you out. V6 turbo, of course, in these ones. And yeah, as always with a very light Formula car, when you've got a lot of power and when a turbo is involved, it's very easy for that back end to step out on you very quickly.
Let alone when you actually punch that button that you've assigned to the push-to-pass system, opens up even more boost for a few moments to try and allow you to make that pass as you need.
Yeah, extra 70 horsepower if I remember correctly. 70 or 60, I think it's 70.
Somewhere in that range, yeah. I remember 60, so I think you're right, though.
Oh, it's been a while, so, yeah, it might be 60. But yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot, but that is an awful lot of power when it kicks in all of a sudden.
Interesting to see a number of drivers from our race 1 learnings going through pit lane on lap 3. A majority of them may struggle to get to the end, depending on if he's there at the end. When Daniel Webster finishes the race, if he just gets across the line before that remaining time ticks over, then most of those drivers are going to struggle to get home for fuel. So an interesting strategy from a number of them.
Yeah, really playing with the strategies a little bit. Just saw a good pass by Guy Leach on Terence Nielsen down for 7th place. They just made that move down the across the oval, passing the beautiful yellow-coloured Chevrolet Team Penske car. Obviously, I'm cheering that one on.
Well, we couldn't have picked that at all.
Who would have thought that I would be a Penske fan? I mean, nobody would guess that one. But up front, Daniel Webster doing a great job at the moment. He is managing to keep that lead, although Adam Funslow is setting some good times and he's catching.
Yeah, last time around, 2 seconds faster than Webster, and Luke Turner almost matching him for pace, so both of those guys dropping into the 2:14s as well. Daniel Webster a 2:16 last time around. Jeff Connell equally a 2:16 as Maverick Benson just ran wide as well. So he might be struggling a little bit there. Dale Carpenter got past Isaac Edwards as well. And so there's a change for position a little bit further down the field.
Adam Funso setting the fastest lap of the session, a 2:14.198, fastest lap of this session. He is really catching up, and he is catching up fast as they go onto the oval. That slipstream effect is really helping him out. Daniel Webster's doing 313 kilometers an hour. Adam Funso doing 320 kilometers per hour. You can see the speed differences. He's going to come rocketing past here on the inside of the oval. Funso is going to take the lead of this race, rocketing past.
Great pass there. Very, very brave move down on the bumpy low section of the track. Daniel Webster just holding the line up the top there. I was keeping an eye on it, whether or not they were doing any PT push to pass, and none were used, so it's all just the benefit of the draft. Luke Turner, however, punching the button, 372 k's an hour on the banking.
It is crazy fast when you get up there. These things, they really pick up speed, and once you get past that 310 kilometers per hour mark, the car really starts to pull along, and yeah, it's amazing how fast these things are. Slower than the old days, slower than back in the 2000s, of course, where they were getting up to, well, we used miles per hour back then, but I remember we set a average lap speed once of 243 miles per hour around a lap, average lap speed. It was a ridiculous session, and yeah, IndyCar, very, very fun, very, very fast stuff.
Eye-watering, dare I say. So Luke Turner here, just again, he's putting the screws on. He is catching Daniel Webster as well. It's Dale Carpenter and Jason Bentz are involved in this. It looks like it's involved a couple of cars, including Matty Cartaleone. I'm just trying to jump on board and see what's going on here. Oh, wow, and there it goes again. So right on time. This is going to cause a few incidents, I think, with Joshua Fitt there parked the wrong way on the track. He has another great night tonight. Just gives Matty Cartaleone a little bit of a thanks very much for that on the way back through. That KFC is absolutely short of a drumstick or two, and he's going to have to jump out of that or nurse it back to the pit lane.
It's looking less like a race car and more like an inner box.
Yeah, absolutely. A finished in a box by that stage there. That is done. He needs to jump out of that one.
Yeah, very much a completely fried car. Not what you want to have.
Boom, boom. Why didn't I think of that?
Wings left.
Why didn't I think of that? It's been he's totally fried.
I was working on that one all night. It just got to me. So.
A 2:13.98 for Adam Funslow, dropping down into the 13s. Saw Liam Caplice do that as well with a 2:13.53, and also Jordan Boys now into the 2:13s. So a bit of benefit of the draft for those guys there. The P2P not being used either on those laps. So just good quick laps, maybe getting themselves a little bit more familiar with the car.
Also very low on fuel, of course. They are going to be coming in this lap, I would say. So this will be their last lap out on the track. So don't expect to see these guys going much longer in this stint. But Funslow building up a nice lead at the moment, giving him a good bit of time from Jordan Mullock, the first car that has stopped at the moment. So about 32 seconds over the leader. So he's going to have plenty of time to come in, come out again for pit lane.
Yeah, Jason.
Well, that's if he can stay free of the trouble as well. Like, I mean, look at what you've got to consider. I'd be slapping tyres on these things, to be perfectly honest with you. And the reason is, look at the chaos that happened in the first race. Any time that you're putting a load of wear through the tyres and a load of energy that they don't necessarily think that they can handle, that adds heat. That heat builds up and it builds up and it builds up until a driver the quality of John Merritt finds himself looking the wrong way. So I'd be taking tyres this time, boys.
Jason Bentz having a big moment through us. Dallara as well. Another car getting caught out on that tricky chicane. A few people being caught out there, and it is very hard when you're braking from that maximum speed. You've had a long time on accelerator, as we said, around about 1 minute 18 seconds, and you're braking into that corner. Everything brake-wise is cold by that stage. They have completely cooled down, and it is very easy to lose that car coming through that corner. As Adam Funslow has come into pit lane, all of the top drivers down to Guy Leach have now pitted.
And I have to jump in here just because if I don't, I'll probably turn purple, and just say that given the sponsorship of Jason Bentz's car, it's fair to say that he's been stiff all night.
Yeah, that car is riding a little bit stiff, you got to say now, and yeah, it's not going too well for you.
Oh wow, boom, boom. Well, if you can't have fun in the commentary box, then where can you have fun? Hey, so Adam Funslow's still out on track, leading this one from Luke Turner, who's managed to make his way past Daniel Webster as well. So that is a change, I believe, that occurred in pit lane.
Yeah, a few passes in pit lane, a few people managing to get a bit of a better stop. The big question now is making sure not to underfuel. We've seen it in the last race, a few people just going a bit too quick on the old fuel. Stop-wise, Adam Funslow was a 5.5, Luke Turner 5.5, Jordan Mullock 5.2 seconds. So they might be in a little bit of trouble. Daniel Webster, he was a 7.6 seconds stop, so it looks like he took a bit more fuel than some of the others. So he might be in good standing if those other guys have cut it a little bit too tight with the fuel numbers.
Yeah, most of the guys there in that sort of mid-6 range, high-5 range, so interesting to see how much how much fewer fuel they actually took on. Particularly Jordan Milak, I think he's going to be in big trouble. He pitted on lap 3, and he stopped for 5 seconds. Of course, obviously the tank a little fuller then. But that's a big call. We saw Sam Lehman ran out of fuel in the last race with similar numbers, so he's going to be one to watch towards the end of this race. And as I said, that real concern is that Funslow at this point in time just grabs that extra lap at the end of the race because of the timing, and then a number of these drivers are going to fall short.
Yeah, that's it. We're looking for 2 more laps at the moment with sort of time-wise, and that could affect a few people. It's a big off behind somewhere. I saw a big amount of smoke there. As Guy Leach as well caught up in that huge accident through Ascari. Guy Leach being the unlucky participant in that one. He got caught up with a car that was having an incident in front of him. Jeff Connell. It was Jeff Connell having a big crash in front of him, and yeah, that's really caught him out. So that's changed the top 10 again. Jeff Connell just losing the back end, unlike Jeff Connell to do that, losing the back end through Ascari, and a huge crash after that.
I'll jump on board here and have a look at the replay.
So you'll see here, he just loses that rear end through the middle of Ascari, steps out on him, snaps it round, goes into the barrier, and then bounces back onto the track. Cars trying to avoid it. Unfortunately, they get caught up as well. Not many places you can go to avoid an accident like that, and it is a big wreck.
Looks like Lockie Capel actually just, in trying to avoid it, just rotated himself around, and you can see him there just flying through the air in that 18. That ended his race. So he had a solo spin, but ended up getting caught up. I think with the injectors online entry there, I just missed that. I think it might have been Guy Leach just down on the inside there. So a couple of guys involved in that one, but yeah, that IndyCar that Dallara, my apologies, very secondhand.
Oh, you got it right as well. IndyCar, it's an IndyCar technically. Yeah, Guy Leach was involved in that, unfortunately. I think I put the curse on him, so I'm sorry, Guy. Yeah. Of course, it's the Dallara DW12, of course, named after Dan Weldon, who was the main test driver of this car before it came out in the 2012 season, I think it was. Of course, unfortunately, Dan Weldon passing away at Las Vegas in 2011, so they named the car after him, of course. And yeah, beautiful car. One of my favourite iterations of the IndyCar, and it's still very familiar to the modern IndyCar drivers as well. Not much change in the old body shape other than the aero screen.
Dale Carpenter has a solo incident there, and he's back out on track. Ben as well, the same fate. As we've got a minute 37 to go here, and some of these guys are going to get lucky because this is going to be the start of the final lap as Adam Funslow brings it around. He'll cross the start-finish line and start lap 9 of this one. And I think there's going to be some drivers who will be breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief.
Yeah, a few drivers are going to be very happy about this being the very last lap. Matthew Johnson might be in a spot of bother. He might be running a little bit short on fuel. We'll see how it goes for him, of course. We've still got a full lap remaining, and it's going to be a little bit tricky for him. He's running up there in 7th at the moment, but he's got Jordan Boys right on the back of him at the moment, so it is pretty tight up there in that position. Ross Rizzo as well right in front of him, so for
Jordan Boys just getting a blow by here down the outside. Ross Rizzo, sorry to cut you off, Carl. Ross Rizzo went past both of them like they were standing still. And he's got caught up on the high bit here as well. Interesting. Edward Foster jumped into the chat a little earlier on and just mentioned how this low line's quicker. Which is a little bit surprising, but I was just watching there as Jordan Boyce just blew past both of them. So we'll get underway here and keep this lap going. About halfway through, we're riding on board because we think Matty Johnson's going to struggle for fuel. Jordan Boyce, Ross Rizzo, similar lap. They been on lap 3, so we'll stay on this for a little bit.
Yeah, it's keeping an eye now because right up front as well, Adam Funslow has got a fast-charging Luke Turner just about a second behind him at the moment, but the main battle is down there between Jordan Boyce, Matthew Johnson and Ross Rizzo. Very, very close between those guys, and it's allowed Jeffrey Wang as well to catch up in the Milo entry car just behind them, so it is all to play for right now between those guys.
I reckon Matty Johnson's going to be coughing by the end.
I don't think he's going to be the only one. I think we've got a fair few guys here that are going to start to fall back. Keep your eyes on this. It is going to be close in terms of those fuel numbers. The number has finally ticked down to 0. Last corner's set to go. Who's your money on? Who's got this all fixed up? Well, he's run away with it by the look of things on my screen. I don't know about you guys. He's going to celebrate with a little bit of weaving on the straight line. But the man in blue, followed by one of the pink boys just in behind. Tell you what a race that, lads.
Matty Johnson has run out of fuel, as we suspected. Matty Johnson runs out of fuel and just loses that position to Jeffrey Wang.
Does get across the line though, so slightly better judge, but does get it across the line in 8th position.
Very close there at the end. A few people really running the risk there with the fuel numbers. Jason Bent's looking to be the next car across the line. I think he's going to just about make it, although his car has got a bit limp because it has run out of fuel.
Jeebus, did you see who that was flying down the outside of Adam Funslow?
Tell you what, he's celebrating in style. That is a smoke cloud that is going to be forming from here to sometime in the middle of next week with a burnout like that. I think he was good on fuel by the judge of that. You wouldn't be able to do as that much of a burnout without a fair amount of fuel left over in the tank.
Making sure those rear tyres can't go back and can't go to anyone else tonight.
My goodness me, what do we make of all that? That is certainly no shortage of entertainment in the race there. We'll bring the final finishing order up on the screen for you now. I was just waiting for it to come up on the screen.
Can we do that again next week?
Well, I don't know that you get too many objections. I'm not sure how much the drivers will have enjoyed it. Some of them, obviously, a frustrating night for some of the guys that are used to running up the front, but, that's why we do these rounds. So, and definitely a good car and track combination for the pundit, that's for sure.
Oh, absolute insanity with that race. It was sheer enjoyment, in all honesty. That was a real fun wildcard race. And what we wanted, really, is it didn't go too dark, so that's the main thing. We didn't have to strap a torch onto any of the cars, so that's good news. But we saw some different drivers up there, and we saw some absolutely crazy antics. It was just insane. Insane racing as well. So close up there. We saw some brilliant passes for position, and we saw some incredible moves out there tonight as well.
So we're just waiting for the drivers to finish running around the track here so that the results page can tick over for us. We'll bring that up for you in a minute, and then we'll have a quick chat with our podium, Adam Funzo, Luke Turner, and Jordan Mulak as well. As,
it was Liam Caplici trying to get the car around. I don't know if we can jump to that, Stuart. There's not much of a car left, really. He's trying to get it round. I don't think it's going to make it there. I think he might have to just give up and...
he's done the barrel roll. Oh no, it's still going.
Still going.
After the barrel
just
roll
shows
as
how
well.
durable this car is. She'd be crabbing a bit. You can see the suspension is not working perfectly. I think it's time to give it up, though. And I think now is it, as you are upside down.
Oh, the motor's gone.
It's time to give up, I think.
Motor in that
A bold effort there to try and make it home.
is toast.
Still trying to rock the car over, but I don't think it's going to make it, Liam. I think it's time to give up on that one.
Turtle on its back, that is for sure. So I'm just, we've got Adam Funzler and Luke Turner just waiting in the green room there. There we go. I think we're finally going to get it. We are. So we'll bring up the results page now. Okay, and it was Adam Funzler, Luke Turner, and Jordan Millack who'll join us very shortly indeed as your podium for the feature race tonight. We've got Paul Mansell, Daniel Webster in 4th and 5th, Jordan Boys, Ross Rizzo 6th and 7th, with Matty Johnson, Brady Buchanan and Jeff Wang rounding out the top 10. Then it was Christopher Henn, Timothy Audie, followed by Richard Brookfield and Sam Lehman. Dale Breed in 15th with Terrence Nielsen, Derek Audie and Maverick Benson rounding out our top 18 finishers. And as we flick over the page, there's a cast of thousands down here. Derek Audie, Maverick Benson, Guy Leach, Ben Hoare, Josh Fitt, Tim Mitchell, Lockie Capel in 23rd. We've got Isaac Edwards, Hayden Jackson 24th, 25th with Jason Bence, John Merritt and Liam Caplice rounding us through to 28th. And then it is Dale Carpenter, Matty Carleone, Phil Audie and Jeff Connell rounding out our 33 entrants in this feature race. And wasn't it a full one?
You've got to say, Adam Funslow had possibly a first lap that was pretty insane. He made up 23 positions in that race. He started way down in 24th position and ended up in 1st. That is an incredible job.
Right, and he joins us in the booth now. Adam and Luke, welcome into the Combox. Thanks for joining us after that crazy 40 minutes of racing. And Adam, you just heard Carl there talking 23 spots, mate. A fantastic effort on a place that, dare we say, is a little difficult to pass.
Yes, especially after race 1. I mean, being taken out on the first banking and having to tow because I got sent across the trees. Yeah, it's a nice change and very unexpected. I think I came around Parabolica and I was like, what am I doing in second? What's happening here?
And that sort of travel that you get, those frequent fly miles generally don't count in the way that you really want them to. But obviously a cracking result to get up. What did you think of the track and car combination for our final wildcard for season 2?
I was dubious at first, and me and the ILEC boys were talking about it, and we knew it was going to be a bit of carnage. But in the end, I actually really enjoyed the car. I don't know why, but I seem to do better in the wildcard cars than I do in the actual main series. So, yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. The track was interesting. Being 4 wide at points, very interesting.
Yeah, and we saw as well that the low line ended up being the faster line through the banking there, which we were a little bit surprised about.
Oh, God, yeah. If you didn't take the low line, you're going to lose at least 7/10 around some of those bankings. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Daniel Webster. He was taking like the mid to high line, and I just breezed past him. Just like he was standing still. So, yeah, I was kind of curious as to why he wasn't running the low line, but then I noticed later on he started running it. So, yeah, just so much time to be gained.
Yeah, an interesting one there indeed. So obviously, yeah, congratulations on the race win, particularly 23 spots gained. That's a fantastic outcome. You mentioned ILEC Motorsport there. Anyone that you want to thank?
Just thank my teammates, ILEC Motorsport. Yeah, we banter a lot, and we've got Jordan Boys that's joined us in our Discord channel, and I tried pushing him along to get the win in race 1, but it didn't quite work out, and he just lost to I can't remember who got the win in race 1, but
that was Tim Audie, just running out of fuel there.
Yeah, just missed out, and then I lost a position to Jeffrey Wang, like in the last 10 meters. So, but no, that was absolutely great fun in the second race. First one was a little bit stressful and annoying, but you get that on the big jobs.
No, that's exactly right. So, congratulations for a fantastic result. We'll move on to Luke Turner. Luke jumped in the box as well, mate. Up 9 positions yourself, running with the pink livery tonight.
Yeah, mate. Hey, Stu. Hey, Carl. Yeah, something a little bit out there. Spent ages in the paint shop preparing that baby.
Yeah, obviously, concerned maybe that you might have head off into the forest and needed to be able to be seen.
Yeah, so I could get choppered out, mate, that they could find me. Yeah, look, it was good fun. Tonight was luck, I'll be honest with you. That was, there's only like 3 braking points on the track, and in practice I was braking a lot deeper and getting it so much more precise, but during the race it just wasn't worth it, because as long as you stayed on track and you didn't get caught up in the carnage, you came out all right. But I certainly wasn't expecting to be chatting to you guys tonight at the start. So yeah, it was a bit of fun in the end, though. It's nice to mix it up with something a bit different.
Interesting that you say it's luck, because you needed a fair bit of it out there, so it's a little bit more than luck. And then you touched on the actual strategy there, which was just preservation. There was obviously the field in general is full of high quality races. It's one of the features of the Oz Pro Am Sim series. And when Jeff Connell's continually spinning, and some of those really fast guys that we see week in, week out as well, is more than luck. It's as said, preservation and strategy that got you there in the end.
Yeah, you can't overdrive it. Like if you get a bit eager on the loud pedal coming off the corner and the car's not pointing straight, when it snaps, like it doesn't really give you a second chance. But mate, that comment you just made, I will absolutely echo that. The quality, more the respect by all the drivers in the field. Like in that second race, I was nervous coming into the first chicane on the first lap, but everyone was great. Like there was 3 wide that you could tell everyone just rolled out of the gas coming into the corner. I was just like, this is unreal. I've raced another series where you just don't see that. So I'm really enjoying it. Great bunch of lads, really well run series, and I like a few of these little surprises that we get through the season.
Yeah, the wildcard round certainly does add something special to it. So, we had the Audis as well, which is everyone's favourite. Pity we didn't finish this one in the dark. I think that would have added just that little cherry on top if you guys were driving around with no lights at all. But Sam Lehman just doing you all a favour and a courtesy here and keeping the lights on for the finish of this one. Obviously, I can't see too many sponsors on that pink livery there. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
No, mate, Privateer. All of the sponsors that look after the series, I'm doing it off memory now, so I think it's HJ Plant, Bridgestone, Simrigs, obviously FGM eCast, and 93PC. Thank you, mate. All those guys, it's cracking series, and I appreciate them putting it on, so thank you.
And thank you very much for your ongoing participation. Look forward to seeing you throughout the last leg of Season 3, almost done already. And I know there's plenty of talk about Season 4 going on. We won't, certainly no spoilers here tonight, but Season 4 is shaping up to be just as exciting. So look forward to seeing how you go through the remainder of this season.
Yep, thanks, mate. Cheers.
So, Carl, I'm hoping that during the time when we're just doing the interviews there, you've managed to go back and unwind just about everything that's gone on in the race. There's only 1 or 2 things.
Yeah, there were just a couple of moments during that race. We didn't have many things happening, in all honesty. It was a bit like the Spanish Grand Prix. A couple of minor moments out there, but nothing too interesting, in all honesty. Not many passes for position, and just a little bit of a fuel race.
Yeah, absolutely. Blown away by it, to be brutally honest.
Insanity. No, great racing out there. We saw some brilliant passes out there, and as I was saying, it was great to see respect shown. I mean, there was accidents, unfortunately, into that first corner as they were coming down off the sort of through those small chicanes. There were a few accidents, unfortunately, but those are going to happen. These cars are incredibly tricky to drive, and I think it was the low downforce package they were running as well, which makes it even harder. So they did a great job for keeping those cars on track, because it's not an easy feat to be done, especially when you're on those slightly higher compound tyres as well. That would have made a difference too. So brilliant job by all the drivers, and great job for putting on such a fantastic show tonight from all of them. I know if you didn't make it through, and I'm sure a few of them will be kicking themselves, but for everybody to get those good passes and things like that, they gave us a really good show for the wildcard event.
Yeah, another success for the series organisers, and hopefully we get to see the Dallara included in next season in one of the wildcard rounds. As I said, planning going on in the background for that, and it'll kick off a few weeks after the end of this one. But of course, we are on the AUSPASS train until the series conclusion on the 1st of June. Of course, actually only a few weeks away. We've got 3 weeks to go in the series, so plenty of action still to come.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be back to sort of normality almost, you could say, as we... I forgot where we're heading next now. My brain has completely failed me. Stu, you'll remember this one?
Yeah, so we're off to Long Beach next.
Yeah, Long Beach, a very difficult very different track, very difficult track, street circuit, American street circuit as well. So that's going to be a fun one in the GT cars. It can be very, very tricky, Long Beach. So looking forward to that one. So that's going to be very exciting to see.
If we get a field of 33 again, it's going to be brutal. Because passing opportunities are limited. Those guys who are completely across the brake packages on those cars will perform the best, because you're going to have to qualify really well. So we're looking at people like Jeff Connell, Ross Rizzo, and those guys that can do that one lap pace, bumpy track as well. So it's going to be an interesting run. Then we head to Nürburgring. We're running the 24-hour layout there as well, and concluding with Spa. So plenty to look forward to. Speaking of things to look forward to, tomorrow night we are back with the Thunder Series on FGM eCast. It is the AUSPASS Thunder Series returning for its first season in a little while. Carl, you know a little bit more about that than I do, but we head to Dover for 150 laps. And I didn't even realise until you pointed out for me last night on the stream that, of course, the Cup is at Dover on Thursday night. So looking to see how many of the drivers use this one as a warm-up event for the Cup race on Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be running sort of shadow formula. Last time we had Thunder was back in April 2020, so it's been a while since the Thunder has been coming to the series. Of course, I'm pretty sure Jason Hardigan was the series champion in the last Thunder series of 2020. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes, the Xfinity cars. And as we said, running at Dover, of course, running the same championship as the Cup cars as well. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to give them a little bit of a chance to sort of get a bit of a warm-up before the races in a few of them. So not every race will be the same, but the couple of the first races, they definitely are going to be mirroring the Cup series up to, I think it's Sonoma. So there'll be a few of them that are similar. So we'll probably see quite a few Cup driver combatants coming into the Thunder Series just to get a little bit of a warm-up race in the Xfinity. Dover, of course, a fantastic track. Going to be an exciting one there for both Cup and the Thunder Series in the Xfinity. So looking forward to both of those races, and you can see them coming up, of course, on FGM eCast tomorrow night and Thursday night as well.
Yeah, looking forward to calling that one tomorrow night and getting back to streaming 4 days a week as well, with a lot of AUSPASS action and obviously the Pro Am Sim series continuing on for the next few weeks. So plenty to come here on FGM eCast. Scotty's jumped out of the booth and he has work tomorrow early in the morning. So Scotty, thanks for dropping by as well. Had a few issues with his mic tonight, so we didn't get the full version of Scotty like we normally do, but he'll be back in the booth in the next few days, I am sure. Carl Withy, as always, great to have you on board with your knowledge of these circuits and what you bring to it. So thank you very much for joining us tonight.
As always, you are very much welcome, and I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow for Thunder.
As do I, and that's it from FGM eCast, your e-place for pace. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we will see you tomorrow from 7:45 when we bring the Thunder back to FGM eCast for the first round of the AUSPASS Thunder Series. See you at 7:45 tomorrow.